He seemed ordinary, but behind closed doors, he was hiding a terrifying secret. Are you ready to uncover the truth? Let's begin. The night was thick with fog, the kind that muffles sound and distorts shapes, turning familiar streets into eerie corridors of uncertainty. Somewhere in the shadows of Long Island, a predator lurked, his meticulous plans unfolding under the cover of darkness. He watched, waited, blended seamlessly into the background of normal life, the very embodiment of the unseen menace. April 2010. Shannon Gilbert, a 24-year-old escort, made a frantic 911 call, her voice a cocktail of fear and desperation. She pounded on doors in Oak Beach, pleading for help, before vanishing into the night. The call lasted over 20 minutes, her breath ragged as she repeated the chilling phrase, "They're trying to kill me." The dispatcher remained uncertain of what was happening, unable to grasp the terror unfolding on the other end of the line. Then, silence. Her disappearance was the thread that, when pulled, began to unravel a tapestry of horror buried along the shores of Gilgo Beach. In the ensuing months, the Suffolk County Police, spurred by Shannon's disappearance, combed the desolate stretch of Ocean Parkway. They were searching for one woman, but what they uncovered was a graveyard hidden in plain sight. 4 bodies, each discovered within a quarter-mile of each other, as if carefully arranged by an unseen hand. The victims: Melissa Barthelemy, Megan Waterman, Amber Costello, and Maureen Brainerd Barnes, all young women, all escorts who had vanished between 2007 and 2010. The media dubbed them the Gilgo 4, but the sands of Gilgo Beach held more secrets. As the search expanded, 6 additional sets of remains surfaced, pushing the body count to 10. Among them was Valerie Mack, a 24-year-old missing since 2000. Her partial remains had been discovered in Manorville, with additional parts found near Gilgo Beach years later. The killer, it seemed, had been active for far longer than anyone imagined. It wasn't until 2020 that DNA testing identified her, a revelation that added another name to the killer's roster of victims. In December 2024, Rex Heuermann was indicted for her murder, bringing the total number of victims linked to him to 7. For over a decade, the case stagnated, a chilling enigma that haunted the community. Families of the victims clung to the hope that answers would come, while detectives sifted through thousands of leads, desperate for a breakthrough. Then, in July 2023, everything changed. Rex Heuermann, a 59-year-old architect from Massapequa Park, was arrested in Midtown Manhattan. The unassuming professional, a man whose career was built on structure and precision, was charged with multiple counts of first and second-degree murder linked to the deaths of the Gilgo 4 and others. The evidence was damning. A witness had described a first-generation Chevrolet Avalanche connected to one of the victims, a rare vehicle that stood out in the vast web of uncertainty. This vehicle was registered to Heuermann. Cell phone records placed him in contact with 3 of the 4 victims, the digital footprints of a predator weaving his way through the shadows. An email account linked to him had been used to monitor the investigation's progress obsessively, a digital voyeur peering into his own monstrous legacy. But perhaps the most incriminating was the DNA evidence. A discarded pizza crust from Heuermann provided a sample that matched mitochondrial DNA found on a victim's burlap wrapping, a careless remnant of an otherwise meticulous existence. Additionally, hair samples discovered on or near 3 victims were linked to Heuermann's wife, suggesting the crimes occurred when his family was out of town. A killer who planned in the spaces between his own domestic life, compartmentalizing horror and routine with terrifying ease. Inside Heuermann's home, investigators uncovered a trove of macabre artifacts. News clippings about the murders, including a 2003 New York Post article detailing the discovery of bodies along Ocean Parkway, were found in his bedroom. These clippings revealed his morbid fascination with his own alleged crimes, a narcissistic obsession with the legacy he was building in blood. Further searches exposed a file on a hard drive in his basement, where he had methodically documented his killings, creating checklists and lessons for future crimes. These materials painted a portrait of a man who not only meticulously planned his alleged crimes, but also relished in their aftermath, feeding off the fear and confusion he created. Beyond the evidence, there were the phone calls. After Melissa Barthelemy disappeared, her younger sister received a series of chilling phone calls from an unidentified man. He taunted her, spoke in a calm, almost mocking tone, delivering cruel messages. "Do you know what your sister is doing right now? She's dead." The voice, later believed to be Heuermann's, dripped with the kind of confidence that comes from believing you're untouchable. The case deepened. Old case files were re-examined and new forensic technology was applied to cold evidence. FBI profilers reconstructed the psychological portrait of a man who lived a dual life, an unremarkable family man by day, a calculating hunter by night. His browsing history revealed a sickening fascination with serial killers, torture methods, and unsolved disappearances. He meticulously studied law enforcement tactics, staying steps ahead for years, a ghost in the system. As authorities worked to link him to additional unsolved murders, they uncovered eerie coincidences. Other women had disappeared under strikingly similar circumstances, their last known locations eerily close to Heuermann's known haunts. The possibility of multiple undiscovered victims loomed, each clue leading detectives deeper into the abyss of his depraved world. The deeper they dug, the more disturbing the discoveries became. Unfinished sketches of potential crime scenes were found hidden in a locked drawer in his basement. Scribbled notes detailing precise methods of disposal, lists of potential victims, and coded messages pointing to locations yet to be uncovered. A chilling realization began to set in. Had they caught him before his next victim vanished? Or were there others still waiting to be found? As the trial looms, the admissibility of certain DNA evidence remains a point of contention. Defense attorneys challenge the validity of forensic methods used, while prosecutors argue the overwhelming evidence points to Heuermann's guilt. The case has reignited debates about forensic reliability, the use of genetic genealogy in modern investigations, and the terrifying possibility that other killers, just like Heuermann, might still be lurking in the shadows. The families of the victims, long denied justice, now watch as the legal system attempts to hold the alleged Long Island serial killer accountable. The community remains on edge, grappling with the revelation that a neighbor, a father, a husband could harbor such darkness. The illusion of safety so carefully constructed has been shattered. As the gavel prepares to fall, one question lingers in the salty Long Island air. What other secrets lie buried beneath the sands waiting for the tide to reveal? And, perhaps even more chillingly, was Rex Heuermann acting alone? What if he was just one player in a larger hidden network of darkness? And what if even now, the real mastermind remains in the shadows, watching, waiting, ready to strike again? What if Heuermann was not the only monster hiding in plain sight? What if the horror has only just begun?